welcome to today's show on Joy News on Multi TV. My name is Patricia. Guess after this break, I'll be talking to my colleague Justice Baidu. Stay glued to your seat, don't go anywhere, and I'll be right back. Welcome back. It is a norm that until you travel, you never know what is behind the scenes. I want you to watch this particular video, and when we come back, I'll be talking to my colleague Justice Baidu, and he's going to tell us exactly what went on behind the scenes with this particular video. Please stay.
Fast.
Down they go. A journey several meters underground. These are illegal miners in Abosso, a town in Ghana's western region. This town, once upon a time, was an industrial enclave with rich gold and manganese deposits. It hosted the Abosso Glass Factory and the State Gold Mining Corporation. 60 years on, they've all collapsed.
Fish, so I'm calling you Bindi. Tiasrona, Wambo Sunuma, and any Bindi. Abosu never. Takwa Bosu never, and soon while Sisi Agana, Pama, Saka Paka for one city pool, Bob Luku. That's you to me, Yabi. To Wambo Takwa Bosu, man. Yes, sir.
Think about 6 kilometers down the belly of the earth. That's how far many young people here would have to go to find gold. And hundreds of people, men and women, would go into pits like these every day. This is just one of the many harsh realities of a lack of jobs in mining towns like Abosso.
From Brimensa. I am the quest, but my nickname Tompo, now man for the name of Galam Senum.
Outside the pit, I meet 32-year-old Obri. His parents came to work for the glass factory in its heydays 30 years ago in Abosso. He fell out of school when his father was laid off as the factory folded up.
This is a Jumana Basa Antinaqua. Jumatitro, and since Yama Basa, I know to the Banadinia, when he had it, a farco, because of a Juman Mesa Wire Basan, Nasun Jumatitro, or Han Kanye Bimoboso, Manaya Jumana, in Coba may be a ditching at the same, be an any better, or Bajano Kama, but a Jumane Yaden, Uncle Dunitino, Ama a wire Basawa, Juma amount for so, Wayan Wahadea, on any the major.
The result of young people flocking Galamsey sites is not hard to find in Abosso. The Divestiture Implementation Committee, the government office supposed to be managing these factories, refused to be interviewed for this program. They did not give me access into the factories. So I've come here on my own, seeking to find out how the collapse of these factories is affecting lives here. The contribution of industry and manufacturing to Ghana's GDP has fallen from over 10% in 1993 to around 3% as of 2014.
The plans were that they were going to supply more than 80% of the bottle needs, anything to do with glass of the country. And of course, this time you have all these beer breweries, Coca-Cola, Fanta, and what have you. And then anything, and later on they would have gone to slit this flat glass sheets used in all sort of in building houses and that sort of thing.
The people who suffer the most in an industrial bust of the scale like that which has happened in Abosso are the country's poorest and most vulnerable. Private mining companies here try to employ young people, but a global price collapse of resources like gold means they are slashing jobs and many are being asked to go home, causing even more joblessness.
People are stealing, thieves, everything. This social rights, people are, that's what I'm saying, everybody's struggling to in a living. So any means at all, he gets money, he's just struggling.
Welcome back. Justice,
Hi, Tricia.
welcome to Reporters Blog.
Always a pleasure to be on here.
Yeah. Let's talk about ghost factories.
So,
The ghost factory.
so yeah,
I
that
believe
was
there are a
just
lot of factories there. So
yeah.
I can say factories.
Yeah.
But let's talk
So-
about this particular factory.
So that was just excerpt of the first of two part documentary series that we did on my last travel. So basically, the idea was to look at some of the factories that we had in the country in the First Republic and track what had happened to them over the years. It's been close to 60 years now since some of them were put up. So we basically wanted to look at what had happened to these factories. So we traveled to Abosso,
Okay.
which is in the middle belt of the central of the western region, to follow the story of the Abosso glass factory, which 50 years ago was a huge industry in that enclave where a lot of young people had come from all over the country to work, and in its heydays it was employing over 600 people directly and throwing up several jobs opportunities for other people who were doing other stuff that was feeding the factory.
So now let's talk about how you got there.
So yeah, it was a very difficult project to work on because we have over 300 of such factories that existed in the First Republic. Well, not exactly in the First Republic, but over the years between 1960, 70, and then
300 factories.
Exactly. So the record says that there were that many factories, but then most of them have either collapsed or are just not there. You can't even trace what has happened to them over the years. So basically, it was difficult researching and then trying to figure out which one had the most interesting story to tell, and then which one which of the towns we really wanted to go to. We settled on Abosso for the first one because first of all, it's in the middle of a very big mining enclave, and so there are a lot of there's a lot of mining.
So it was easier to locate.
Yes, so there's a lot of mining activity going on there, and it was also easy to link the story of the factory's collapse to the emergence of Galamsey, because a lot of young people who otherwise would have found opportunities working in the glass factory now do not have those opportunities available, and so would then have to go into illegal mining. And it's also because mining firms, most of which are in the area, are now cutting jobs because the world market price for gold itself is not doing well, and so most of them are in difficult times and slashing jobs, cutting back investment, and that is having its toll on Abosso itself, and then the towns surrounding it, like Tarkwa, like Prestia, Bogos, all of those towns that are surrounding.
So when you got to the place, what was your first impression when you saw the factory, the ghost factory?
I had heard and read so much about Abosso.
Yeah.
how when it was working and how it impacted the people. I heard stories of how even big musical talent like the Papa Yangsons, like the Jewel Akers, had come out of the then famous Aboso Glass Factory Band. I'm not sure you know of that. so there used to be the Aboso Glass Factory Band, which was, as people told me in the town, a hub for a lot of musical talent who were coming through around that period in the country. Okay. So all of these sort of brought out the curiosity in me to find out more about what is it about this town. And we got to this town. It was really difficult getting there in the first place because the road that connects the town to the nearest major town, which is Tarkwa itself, is a rundown road. It's like just about 6 miles road, and you really, if you were wearing a white dress, you had to cover yourself up because you cannot just
color change to brown.
Exactly. so you can't get there without. I mean, once you get on the road, you get a feel. Yeah, but I mean, of course, we are working, and so and so you don't really mind how you end up looking once you get into the community. But I mean, the point is that you get a feel of what the town has been reduced to once you set onto that road, and I think that it's immediately dawns on you how run down the town has gotten to. So we finally got there. We got to Aboso, and the factory itself is located right at the entrance of the town. Okay. And so you are met with this huge facility that is just brought in away. Exactly. And you find and every part of the town just reminds you of the how life was many years back. You find schools that were operated by the factory. You find, like I said, there's a club. There's actually a club that was like big like 40 years ago, and you could imagine a nightclub in a small town like that then. And so and that's also just at the entrance of the town. So you find houses that used to house like estates that used to house workers and their families, all spread across the town.
You spoke with some people. How was it like? Were they willing to talk to you, or you had to convince them and pay something before they allow you?
So there's the many of the young people in Aboso are livid about how the factory has been left to rot, because for them this would have been a great opportunity, like I said in the beginning, for them to make a life and then attract a lot. Exactly. So, and the point is that there's very little information about the status of the factory itself. The Divestiture Implementation Committee, which is supposed to be the government agency that is trying to seek, that is supposed to be seeking private investment into the factory, so it gets revamped. It's run in very shady ways. In fact, they did not agree to be interviewed for this program, which for me was a shame. And they don't give a lot of information out about some of these state enterprises. And so the community members are just livid about the fact that we are in this community, there are no jobs, and we have this huge edifice just wasting away. So yes, so for young people, they were ready to talk to me. They were ready to bear it all out and then say whatever it was on their mind. The problem then was with people who had worked in the factory, because most of them, either you know how it is with state enterprises and the fear of victimization, when you really know there's something that has to be said, but then people are saying, well, don't quote me, I know this happened, but don't quote me, I don't want to show my face on TV and all of that. So those are some of the difficulties, but I think that all in all, it was a great trip.
Yeah, from the video. I think let's watch a snippet of that video again.
Aboso is a rich town Located in the central belt of Ghana's western region, its history was built on a huge mineral deposit here. It has gold and manganese. The country's first rail lines came here in 1919. It was one of the first towns to get electricity in Ghana. In 1965, the Abosso Glass Factory was built. It was supposed to take advantage of the large mineral deposits here to create jobs for people and also make Ghana an exporter of bottles and glass materials.
It was like Abosso is the glass factory and the glass factory is Abosso. I am Dr. Samuel Kubi-Forson, an occupational and public health physician. When Liman came to power, I was appointed then the chairman of the board of directors of it was then Abosso Glass Factory. It was thriving, you know, and well, it was only 2 years, you know, when we worked with the place, and it was like Abosso is the glass factory and the glass factory is Abosso. They had their own clubhouse, their own canteen, and quite a big industry. At that time, we had some state-of-the-art equipment, which we were just about to commission, you know, and we have got others already after feasibility studies were done in Niger, Burkina Faso, Togo, what other place? Mali, even Nigeria, even though they have their own N+ of Ghana. So just at the time we were about to take off, the second coup of Rawlings came, and you know, of course, they had to close down all the state-owned factories.
The Abosso Glass Factory went out of operations in 1995. Attempt to revamp it in the year 2000 fell on rocks. The company owed electricity bills running into several thousands of cedis, and that essentially brought it down on its knees. All of its workers were asked to go home. Some compensated, some not.
The plans were that they were going to supply more than 80% of the bottle needs, anything to do with glass of the country. And of course, this time you have all these beer breweries, Coca-Cola, Fanta, and what have you. And then anything, and later on they would have gone to slit this flat glass sheets using all sort of in building houses and that sort of thing, you know. But especially it's the bottled industry, and they had a lot. In fact, they were sure that they were going to capture the West African market, short of Nigeria. Nigeria too are producing their own bottles too. And look at now, Casepreco has come. A lot of these factories or industries which need bottles for their products. And bottles forever. People will need bottles for all sorts of things. Pharmaceutical industry, I mentioned brewery, they will need a lot of bottles because many medicines are not properly kept in plastic containers. It should be in bottled containers, you know. In fact, it was thriving. And we had about more than 600 workers. And Abosso started, you know, people started putting up, you know, all sorts of houses and also, what do you call it, this mercantile, the traders came in, they were selling to the workers who were staying there. They had houses for some of their workers, at least most of their senior staff were housed, and some of the junior staff. And as I said, they had their own school, you know, Abosso Glass School. They had even their own band. Yes, incidentally, it was the glass factory band which disintegrated. They all went to Tema, including this man, Papa Yankson, the other one, very famous, short, thick, Joel Akar. All the big names, they were with the glass factory.
Wa friend Beatrice Betty Ata. Wa wo mo abosu kurom ha. Me one more friend be me na ye kosu a glass factory. Methodist school. Wa glass factory nti wo si glass factory na menyu atua. No ye mbe. No wo botu ni na agui. What the glass factory? Wo si glass factory. Na nche ye ni me de. Enka wa Kwame Nkrumah be ye yi. Na nche mbrante na nketesi ye wie school na ya wa benefit him. Enso me hu ya ne the glass factory wo si wegu fit da me time in janka wo de nu fan wo nu mi nala. Wo ina wa ye mpenimfo. Wan ka abani bi aba on kasa glass factory ho.
Yes, glass factory. You must say cocoa shell. Say about you. I don't know. But at least, enka why they? What team they technical school be another bia school be. I can be fit on benefit community no.
Of course. What has happened has left nothing better for the town because parents are not having money to take care of their children. Life has become so hard here.
Na ye wa prime was the Kwame Nkrumah kai rally. Wo Kumase. Nti wo ma hen flag. Na ye kita flag no. Ye be gina ha. Village bi wa ha ofren ka kwase. Train do hope no obo aben pa. Ni hu de Kwame Nkrumah ba. Na ye kita hen flag ye wave the man ye nwa aje. Kwame Nkrumah so oyi ni white handkerchief. O wave hena na ye ni je ye huhu ye hu Kwame Nkrumah. Na he nwa aje o station he ala. Na ya da me na hate. Na hu de ejina station.
Always me sure that akatu sawo mkuti no yedwuma. And on member do my year ho because I am mpo a Kenya uska kakra fa train ko ayemfa nsu sad na de kra benye bro bi aba beton. Rewela yin na collapse.
Galamsey subado mbrente wodu wo hu shema wo ye ya sisisi ala galamsey inshafa mbrente wo krom heinara wo eto adai wa kambre wa na hwana wo ma me no abombre wa wo hihedem no wonam krom ha
o ase sisi adi message djuma na yende wa ye ba go through on ye the first na from obrimensa yem bidin ekwes ba nickname no tompo na amanfo di ni mo galamsey ni mu edi ejuma sisi aso na ejuma na ayebasa ntena ekwa ejuma titiro ha ntin sisi nyama ayebasa ona otuntan de ba na ade nya woni hedi efa akọ because of ejuma no mesa wa ayebasa no na so nka ejuma titiro a o ha nka yenye bi mo bo so mo na ya ejuma na nkoba mebia ade chi na ade senya bia na ni bere obeje no ho kama but ejuma ne yeden onkodu nintino ama wa ayebasa wa ejuma amanfo so waye no ha de ya ona ni de mejuma
azay ya fast nyanko bolo fast me chipla yanko chipla ane ni ma ona no na shi fast famu juma do fatundu azay fatwa mi ya fam ko fudemo
hade me sheda ho adwuma titiri bia wa ase galamsey no na ya adwuma titiri okrum ya omo ya galamsey ne de ha ya de kama ba galamsey na gunti se ha nye de biem nti adwuma titire wa ha ya galamsey no na yɛ adwuma yɛ wɔ ha isi afa adwuma okra na ma no kro mu sua ntɔ ma ade ne ade bia yɛ basa
asa ona obobo nsu ndi obobo nsu no man na shwelo du bia ma akɔfa aba fish nso akɔ anya bindi ti esre ona obobo nsu no man na anya bindi di abosu ana ewo takwa abosu na ewo nsu no ahwa sisi agana pa ma osaka paka fa wansi dipu bobru eku yesu yentumi yebi to mbu atakwa abosu man esre ona
Nine.
Think about 6 kilometers down the belly of the earth. That's how far many young people here would have to go to find gold. And hundreds of people, men and women, would go into pits like these every day. This is just one of the many harsh realities of a lack of jobs in mining towns like Abosso.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean it was really difficult. One of the most exciting parts and most difficult parts for me about doing this particular story was when I got to some of the Galamsey sites. It was for me, the difficulty was trying to find a different way of telling the story of young people working in Galamsey pits, which will stand out from what we've always known.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was contemplating how do I then get that, and so we had to join some of them in there, and then try to get the shot of people working like 500 meters under the ground. And then there were points where we had to go sit just at the entrance of the Galamsey pit and then be able to take shots, so you get wide angle shots of people, and then you're able to imagine as a viewer how the whole thing works. Yeah, so for me it was exciting. It was a learning experience, and yeah, this is what we
I think we need to look at the rest of the 299.
Sure.
Anyway, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Patricia.
And that was my colleague Justice Beidou. My name is Patricia Gasson. At the same time next week, stay blessed.